Hey guys, so today we're going to be having a look at who I think is going to make the NRL finals while using the NRL Ladder predictor. So we'll get straight into it. I think the Roosters have enough to beat the Manly this weekend. I think Storm will get a bounce back win over the Warriors and really start to click into place. Eels versus Panthers is a massive game because the Eels always seem to show up against the good teams, but in saying that, I think the Panthers do have enough to beat them there. Titans versus Raiders, I think the Raiders win that one up in Queensland. Sharkies versus Bunnies, that's another really good game this week. Sharks did play well against Panthers, but I think just the way that Latrell Mitchell's been playing is in such good form. I think the Rabbitohs can get the win there. Bit of a shake-up. Broncos get the win over the Tigers, whilst Doggies can beat the Knights, and the Dragons, despite them having a really, really good home record and having a good win last weekend against Manly, while Cowboys didn't look so good, I think Todd Payten will have the Cowboys boys up, and the Cowboys will get the win there. So we go have a look at the ladder. We've got the top 8 at the moment. Storm bounced back up in the top 4 with the Sharkies moving down. There's not really any drastic movements anywhere else apart from Manly and Raiders and Dragons dropping 2 points behind the Raiders and the Roosters in the rest of the top 8. So round 21, huge game at the SCG for the Roosters. However, I think the Broncos have too much quality and get the win there. Storm versus Titans. Once again, I think the Storm will be absolutely humming now. 2 big wins back to back and be looking ready to kick on towards the finals. Manly versus Eels, 4 Pines Park. I think the Eels can get the win there. Rabbitohs versus Warriors. I think Rabbits once again can get the win. Latrell Mitchell will be absolutely on fire that game. Probably going to score 2 or more tries. Raiders versus Panthers. I think pretty obvious here. Panthers get the win. Sharkies versus Dragons. Sharks can get the win there and at home over the Dragons. It'll be a good game, but yeah, I think Sharks have too much for them. And then Bulldogs versus Cowboys. Cowboys get the win. Knights can get the win over the Tigers there. We have a look at the ladder. There's been no changes for that round. So into the last month of footy, round 22. Panthers versus Storm to kick us off. Huge game. Panthers will get the win though. Warriors versus Bulldogs. Doggies get the win. Eels versus Rabbitohs. That's going to be another massive game. Over at Bankwest, I think the Eels will have enough to get the job done there. Roosters versus Cowboys. So this is one going to be in Sydney. However, I think Cowboys have enough to get it done. They've got a really good away record, so I think they can outclass the Roosters side. Tigers versus Sharks. Unfortunately, Tigers fans, Sharks getting the win. Broncos versus Knights. Easy Broncos win at Suncorp. Now, Raiders versus Dragons in Canberra. Dragons have a terrible away record, but I do think they have enough quality to beat the Raiders here. Moving on to the last game of the round, Titans versus Seagulls. Unfortunately, Titans fans, I see Manly getting an easy win there. So, round 23. Rabbitohs versus Panthers. I think Panthers have enough to get the job done there. Cowboys can beat the Warriors. Broncos versus Storm will be a very, very big game. Up in Suncorp Friday night. That's Broncos' bread and butter. I think they get the win there. Eels can beat the Doggies over at Bankwest. Now at 4 Pines Park, Manly I think will be up for this game because they'll be just sitting out of the top 8. I think they can get the win over the Sharks. Roosters versus Tigers. Roosters win that game. Dragons get back in the winner's circle by beating the Titans. And I think the Raiders have enough to get the job done over the Knights. So if we have a look at the ladder here, Eels are on equal points with the Sharkies, so going into the last couple of rounds. So the Eels could sneak in the top 4 here. Storm starting to make their way down the ladder, as well as the Rabbitohs. So interestingly, I've still got Roosters, Manly, Raiders, and the Dragons all on the same points with 2 rounds to go. So we'll see what happens here. Round 24, Broncos versus Eels to kick us off. I think Broncos up in Suncorp can get the job done. It's going to be a really, really big game. And if Eels can win that, then they can push in the top 4. Panthers versus Warriors. Once again, Panthers win. Storm versus Roosters. Now, it'll be interesting to see how Storm are going, whether if they're dropping off a bit or if they've refound their form. I think down in Melbourne, I'm going to say they've refound their form and they get the win there. Now, Raiders versus Manly. This is going to be a huge game because this could decide who gets in the top 8 for heading into that last round, which would be a big boost of confidence. Fortunately for Raiders fans, I see Manly having too much quality and getting the win there. Now, Sharkies versus Bulldogs. Sharks get the win. Easy money there. Rabbitohs versus Cowboys. Cowboys come down to Sydney and get the win. Dragons can beat the Tigers over at Bankwest. Whilst I see the Knights getting the win over the Titans there. So, have a look at the ladder. Top 4, Panthers, Cowboys, Broncos, Sharks. And then Storm, Eels, Rabbitohs, with Manly now in the top 8 heading into the last round, with Dragons on equal points, and then Roosters and Raiders just 2 points off the 8 there. So the last round of footy starts off with an absolute belter. Eels versus Storm over at Bankwest. I can see the Eels getting the win here, so we'll tip them. Now, Doggies versus Manly. Manly get the win and pretty much cement themselves a top 8 spot there. Roosters versus Rabbitohs is going to be a huge game to unveil the new stadium in Sydney. This could be like deciding who makes the finals out of these two clubs. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a game, but I can see the Roosters getting a win there. Warriors versus Titans. It's a bit of a nothing game in the last round here, but I think Warriors over in New Zealand can get the win. Now, Dragons versus Broncos. Dragons, home record's amazing. And they nearly got the Broncos last time they versed them, so I'm going to tip them there. And then Cowboys versus Panthers. This is going to be a really cool game to see where the Cowboys are at in terms of sticking it to Penrith. But I do see Penrith getting a win up in Townsville there. And then the Sharkies can beat the Knights to secure themselves a top 4 spot. And then the Raiders can beat the Tigers there. So, my final top 8. We've got Panthers getting the minor premiership on nearly 50 points, which is absolutely ridiculous. Cowboys in second, which if you had said that at the start of the year, well, you would have got laughed at. Broncos and Sharks making the top 4, which once again said that at the start of the year, you've been like, what? 5th to 8th, we've got the Eels making a bit of a charge up to 5th, the Storm who've dropped down a little bit, and then Rabbitohs and Manly making it, while the Dragons miss out on 4 and against, with Roosters and Raiders dropping out as well. So let me know if that's your top 8 you got at the end of the year, or if you see some changes, some different results in games, just drop them down in the comments.